What's up, oddballs? We've got a little surprise for you. Our first event is finally coming around. We are going to be doing a little event at the Haunted Eloise Asylum in Michigan. Kara, tell us about the details.
Okay, so the details are it is going to be April 19th, and it is going to start at 6 p.m. and go until midnight. And Zachary, what are we doing at Eloise?
We are bringing in the wonderful Lauren Haunts, where we're all going to build our own investigative equipment that we get to take home with us. And what are we doing from there?
Okay, so after the workshop that we have with Lauren and we build our equipment, we're going to actually go use our own equipment that we just built, and we're going to investigate Eloise.
So we hope you all can make it. Tickets are going to be very limited. We're holding it for 20 people max. The link is down below. And Kara, let's wrap this up.
Well, we hope to see you there, and we hope you creep real, you little eyeballs.
Goodbye.
Bye. Welcome in, you oddballs, to The Oddity Shop, the podcast where we
tell stories sometimes
of
the creepy, odd, weird, strange, and bizarre.
I'm your curator, Kara.
Hi, Kara.
With my lovely, wonderful curator, best friend, the most amazing person in my life, Zachary.
Hi, Zach. Oh, wait, that's me. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I
Dum-dum.
am down another rabbit hole.
Of what?
Okay, so it may or may not be related to the Dior bags. If you know, you know.
Oh, God.
/ drones.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about this a couple weeks ago?
We did.
Vaguely.
But there's been some other weird developments going on.
Okay.
I need to do more research. I probably shouldn't even be talking about these two things, but I'm going to talk about them really quick. And I could be totally wrong. And honestly, by the time this comes out, it could be totally disproven. We have not only so that all this UFO stuff is now starting to get into interdimensional beings quite a bit, which, you know, you and I have already been on this, that they're probably not from other planets, they're from other dimensions.
I love international.
So the things they were calling the Oscar de la Rentas, or the UFOs, are now thought to be plasmoids. Plasmoids, for like the shortest way I can do it, is energy that is surrounded by a ball of plasma. Our universe, our galaxy, the sun, all plasmoids. What people think they're seeing in the atmosphere, also plasmoids. Okay, these like little orbs that change shape.
Okay.
They have the ability to go through objects because it's energy. Okay. Few different theories on them. One is that it's coming from a storm on the sun. The other is that it's actually coming from our military as a way to, like, they're testing it to see if they can throw off heat-seeking missiles. But the third is interdimensional travel, because what else is made up of plasmoids are black holes and wormholes.
Ooh, I love this.
I heard a rumor, and this is TikTok. I need to go further down it, but with the coming of the plasmoids came a distress signal from the Bermuda Triangle with Amelia Earhart's call sign.
Wait, what?
So did she time slip and come back? Are we going to find Amelia Earhart? I don't know. The other thing, at the exact same time, and this is one I've talked about doing in an episode before, and I'm going to just have to do it now, but the Philadelphia experiment, the ship that Einstein was trying to do a cloaking device and it disappeared, and then it reappeared and everyone was like melted to the boat.
Yeah.
So in the 70s, after it disappeared way back when, in the 70s, it was actually discovered off the coast of Greenland for a brief second and showed up in a flash. It disappeared. Basically the same thing that happened originally. There were recent sightings of, it's the Philadelphia experiment, but the ship is the USS Eldridge. So apparently people are starting to have sightings of the Eldridge again. And I think some of the things that disappeared to wormholes in the past might be coming back now.
Oh my God.
Total conspiracy. But yeah, go down this rabbit hole with me.
We should do like a little bonus episode about this. Like where we just talk and dive in on our opinions. or something, like maybe a live or a Patreon episode about
we
it.
should do.
That'd be
I think
cool.
we should do a live in like about
Okay.
these Dior bags. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
That's the rabbit hole I have for you. But before we go too long, what do you got?
So I ordered Ancestry.com kits for me and Aunt Patricia.
You're gonna out a murderer in your family.
I hope. I hope I find a cheating scandal. I hope I find a murder. I hope I find things, but I won't because I want it, you know? But it just came today. I didn't do it yet because you and I had so much going on today.
True. It's been a day.
I didn't even really have time to like sit down, but mine came today.
You know what came in the mail for me today?
What?
So before I tell you what came in the mail, I am still getting free cruise offers. So I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. I won a free cruise from the cruise. From the cruise.
The cruise that we all went on in November.
I won a free cruise from the casino. And I had to book by December 6th, remember? So we booked it.
Yep.
Then they sent me more that I had to book by January 6th. So January 7th was yesterday. They sent me another batch online. So they just keep sending me these. I've now found out they're probably going to do this for at least 5 years.
Why?
Because they think I'm a high roller. So in the mail yesterday, I got an invite to an invite-only elite cruise where they fill a cruise ship with only the high rollers. If I book this one, it's the same deal as the last. Free balcony room, free drinks, everything. A black car picks you up and drops you off from the airport. They give you a free gift. You're entered into all these raffles and shit. I think they just... Can
you just take me on one of these with you?
Yeah, well, let's look at the elite one when it comes in.
Just take me one. I don't even need the elite one.
Apparently, they're going to just give them to me for 5 years, so we'll figure it out.
So
maybe
can I just go to
maybe
one?
We'll do a Patreon cruise. I'm sorry, though. I can only have one free person on the cruise, so we'll figure out some group deal. Okay,
that'd be
that's
fun.
it. We're going to talk too long. You want to get into it?
Yeah,
but in a couple weeks, you have to share your ancestry stuff with us.
Oh yeah. No, I will. Okay. Do you have a question for me?
To open the shop, you know I do.
Okay, give it to me, baby.
When you were growing up, what was your favorite cartoon and why?
Oh, shit. Oh, well, okay. I guess I have to say Rugrats because that's the first one. I remember when I was little, it was Fraggle Rock. But when I was like a little bit older, I loved Rugrats and I would always collect all these little like keychain doll things. My dad would take me to go buy them. They were like at Rite Aid and shit. Oh, R.I.P. Rite Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then so I would probably say Rugrats, but I love Hey Arnold. Oh God, there's so many I can't even. SpongeBob. Fuck, man, I could sit here all day. Anyway,
you're gonna love this episode.
No, I won't. If I know where we're going.
you may have put it together already.
You're gonna traumatize me, aren't you?
No, I don't think we went too traumatizing. Unless Rugrats is really your favorite, but. Also growing up, I had a dog named Molly, but Molly looked exactly like Sprocket from Fraggle Rock. So sometimes we would call her that.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
Okay.
What are we doing?
So we all love a good conspiracy theory, one that we don't do too much on the show.
I was going to say we haven't done it a lot. Okay.
This could be conspiracy theory. We could also call this fan theories. So I'm going to be just straight up. Some of these are really far-fetched, have no basis in reality. But the interesting thing is like when these theories start to surface, they become really widespread. And it's like, sort of like a game of telephone. Everyone adds little bits to stuff.
Like a wildfire. Yeah.
We're not doing just one conspiracy theory, multiple theories, multiple fan theories from different cartoons from our childhood. Are you ready for some nostalgia? And you ready to just be totally screwed with?
Yeah, let's go. Because I have not deep dived into this, but I have dived to the surface.
I feel like everyone's kind of heard of some of the cartoon conspiracies, but I try to not go with all dark ones, but I went with some that I haven't heard of before, and some have compelling evidence.
I was going to say, some people, they'll get really upset about this. So you might upset some people because some people really don't want their childhood like memories fucked with. So
and if you don't want that, you might want to tune out now. Also, trigger warnings of substance abuse, self-harm, trauma.
Okay.
But I do have to give a really quick shout out to my coworker, CJ, for suggesting this episode. So thanks, CJ.
Hey, CJ.
Appreciate you, buddy. We're starting with the Rugrats, though.
Oh, that's actually really funny. Okay, yay.
Wait, yeah, it's funny.
You know what, though?
Also the second one.
I do kind of know this one, but I'm excited for you to tell it. There you go.
All right. In case you don't know me by now. I love the fucking Rugrats. I have slowly named all my pets after from the show. So we started with Reptar. I had Phil and Lil, the twin geckos. The snake's name is Chucky because he's just afraid of everything. And I was going to have a dog named Tommy, but I just never got ready enough for the dog. But in case you don't know about the Rugrats, it was a TV show, cartoon that ran from 1991 all the way to 2004.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize it was actually older than I was. And it was one of the original 3 cartoons on Nickelodeon.
Thanks for making me feel old.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Like it's older than I was. Fuck you.
The show focuses on a group of toddlers, right? So Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, their friend Angelica, and some other like side characters who just don't matter as much, going about their day-to-day lives. It's usually like life experiences through the eyes of toddlers that through their imaginations become these great adventures. But to the adults, like they were having full conversations, but to the adults, remember, it sounded like baby talk.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, they were also often terrorized by the slightly older cousin of Tommy named Angelica. Okay. So there's a ton of fan theories on this one. We're going to go into the one that everyone started to hear a little bit about. But this theory claims that what was shown to kids on TV, the lives of all these little toddlers and all their adventures, was not really what we thought.
Yeah.
Kind of states that the entire event of Rugrats or events of Rugrats took place only in the mind of Angelica Pickles.
Mm-hmm.
So Tommy, Phil, Lil, Chucky didn't actually exist. Well, they did exist briefly, but they were created by the young girl as a coping mechanism due to neglect and terrible parenting.
Mm-hmm.
So Angelica was horribly selfish. She was rude, not great at making friends, but she was also the spitting image of the person on the show who was shown as her mom, the career-driven, cold, rude, paid little attention to everyone. Explains her kind of only child syndrome and bad attitude, right? So the conspiracy fan theory really starts with saying that mom wasn't her real mom, and it was actually her stepmom.
Oh.
And that there's signs throughout the show that her real mom likely died to some sort of drug overdose.
Okay.
So the doll that she is insanely attached to, with the disheveled hair and the running makeup that she treats like a real human, is probably because it reminds her of her mother. And she kept her memory alive in that way. Okay. So 3-year-old Angelica has a way of bossing around the kids and making things all about her.
She was awful.
Oh, yeah. She was terrible.
Just a quick, I want to say a quick side note. My cousins were not allowed to watch the Rugrats solely because of her character.
A lot of kids in my school weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
But that was religious school.
Oh.
Well, yeah. She was terrible.
Yeah.
So anyways, though, she was maybe bossing around being so mean to these kids because they really didn't exist except for in her world.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the dark twist. Other than Angelica, all the other babies are... That's right, Kara. Dead babies.
Mm-hmm.
They died all sorts of tragedies around her. And instead of facing the grief and letting them go, Angelica keeps them as imaginary friends that she can continue to have adventures with, have these friends, and cope with her extreme feelings of neglect, loneliness, and grief.
Even though she hates them.
Well, I think it's more of just her processing the trauma, right?
Yeah.
And having control. So she feels so out of control in her life that that's how she can have the control.
So this is not the theory that I've heard, but this is a good one.
Yeah, well, I think this is the one that most people have heard because I think the next parts you're going to be like, okay, yeah.
Okay.
It gives more of the backstory of why she did what she did.
Okay.
To like create them.
Mm-hmm.
So how did her imaginary friends come to be? So let's start with Tommy. In this theory, Tommy was either a stillborn or passed shortly after being born.
Okay, yep.
And obviously, Angelica would have faced trauma from this because that's her cousin. It goes on to state that the parents fell into like a really depressive state. So remember that one episode where Stu's making the pudding at 4 a.m. and Dee Dee comes in? She's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making pudding because I've lost control of my life. Those two parents always kind of come off a little lethargic, we'll say.
Yeah, just disheveled.
Stu, going further into his depression and not dealing with his own loss, continues to invent all these toys for his stillborn son out of grief.
Yep.
So Angelica creates Tommy, right? So she, instead of letting him go, she turns him into this imaginary friend.
Okay.
So next we have Chucky. Chucky is the one who lived in constant fear and terror, right? He's raised by his father, Chaz. Chaz is really similar.
Yes, Chaz.
And in an episode in the 3rd season is the only time we hear about his mom. It was an episode called Mother's Day, and they allude to the fact that she died shortly after he was born.
Yes. Oh.
That was canon. That was real, right? So going back to the theory, this suggests that Chucky was alive for a time after his birth. He was in a car accident with his mom, and they both passed away.
Okay.
That is what causes Chaz's erratic and nervous behavior, because he's traumatized by the accident.
Okay.
Now, in Angelica's mind, right, she doesn't have a way to create Chucky other than the reflection of his father, so she kind of creates this fearful individual. Then we have the twins, Phil and Lil.
They're my favorite.
I love them too. I think Lil too. She was just sassy.
She was so sassy.
So the DeVilles are neighbors of Dee Dee and Stu. So once again, Angelica would have been exposed to them because, you know, if the babies didn't exist, Angelica was still babysat by Dee Dee and Stu a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So this one goes to suggest that Angelica would have surely seen the pregnant mother next door, who either gets an abortion or loses the child. And since Angelica never knew whether the child would have been a boy or a girl,
she just made 2.
We get twins. Yeah. Okay. Where's the proof of all this sort of deal, right? Let's go back to the adults not being able to understand the younger kids.
Well, and like shows of like our time, more even my time, were really fucked up dark shows for parents.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because like kids, it was oblivious. Like now you can kind of get away from some like parental humor in shows, but not like they did at these times. Like,
oh no, there was things that just went right over kids' heads that were not for the kids at all.
So this actually is kind of the theory that I've heard. It was just a little bit different, but yeah, everything you're saying, yeah.
So, and they're all different depending on where you look. Like I said, it's all a game of telephone sort of deal. But here's where we can get a little bit of proof, right? So remember, to everyone else, the babies speak gibberish.
Mm-hmm.
Angelica's older. She doesn't speak in baby talk. She's
right.
Like,
and it was always like,
toddler.
Why does she understand them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of like always a thing.
Now, there was a character who she couldn't understand. Tommy's little brother, Dill.
Dill, yeah. Because wasn't he the only surviving one?
He was the only one who probably was alive.
Really? Yeah.
So then she treated him worse than all the others. Remember, she like hit him.
See, Dill was an add-on. I was a little bit older when Dill came around. Like, I do remember him, but like he wasn't like my core
and Kimmy
Rugrats.
And, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't my core memories. Sorry, Dill.
So this is where I think we just get totally off the rails with this, but I added it in here. So in the All Grown Up, people have added to the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
So the All Grown Up series showed them as like, I think it was like, they say all grown up, but they were like old teens.
Teens, yeah.
And the series stops there, and a lot of people speculate that it's because Angelica's character would have passed away from a drug overdose because she was continuing to take drugs that allowed her to see and interact with her imaginary friends into childhood. I know, this one's terribly done. So there's some flaws that poke holes in the theory, most significantly that the children are visible to the adults around them. And they regularly interact with each other.
But do they? That's kind of one of those things, like they kind of ignore them a lot where you're like...
But they do interact enough.
This is why I feel like this theory kind of came about.
And they interact a lot, the kids and the adults, when Angelica's not even there.
Oh, okay.
So what a lot of people too bring up is Susie Carmichael. She's the one who's about Angelica's age. She's kind of Angelica's nemesis, but also is like motherly to everyone, right?
Oh, yeah. She's the really cute little African-American girl, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I loved her.
People kind of are like, well, while she was Angelica's rival, she was one of the few who actually cared about her and probably played into her imagination. So that's kind of how we got around that loophole.
Okay.
They even say that she's probably the one who planned her funeral in the All Grown Up series, which is just horrible.
Jesus Christ.
At this point in the theory, are you standard Rugrats or dark Rugrats?
I mean, I kind of like the dark. It's fun. But also, I don't know if you're going to get into this, but one of the other theories really quick that I heard about it was all like disorders that either Tommy had or Angelica had. Like each child represented manifested into a disorder.
Yes, I did see some of that.
Yeah.
I didn't cover it, though, because we're going to cover a very similar one for another show.
I mean, listen, I don't want to traumatize myself, but but we're already traumatized. And honestly, that show really did get dark. It was very disturbing on certain episodes, like the grandpa, questionable. So I could get down with the dark.
Well, I'm going to burst your bubble on that one because this is one of the few that we actually have a response from Arlene Klasky, one of the show creators.
Because what are they going to say? Yeah?
So she told BuzzFeed at a Comic-Con, she goes, a lot of people believe that conspiracy theory that the Rugrats never happened. And I'm here to tell you that it's not true.
I mean, I don't believe it as in it was written that way, but I could definitely see it because it's very weirdly written, no matter what. A
lot of those older cartoons, especially the 90s cartoons, were, because like the Hanna-Barbera ones before that, a lot of those were like way more straightforward. I feel like, yeah, they had jokes for the adults, but some of those like 80s, 90s ones got dark. One that I didn't throw in here that I will while we're talking about it is Ren and Stimpy. So, and there's a ton of theories on that one. We've all heard a bunch of them, but this one I hadn't heard before is like their erratic, crazy behavior is the direct manifestation of their trauma of being abused animals from the parents who never took care of them. Like that's just like how animals would react. Okay. The next one, though.
Okay.
What was your second favorite show?
What did I say?
You said SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to say I rattled off so many, but yeah, SpongeBob. Well,
so SpongeBob's the next one on our list, and we're going to go through a couple on this one. Yeah. So SpongeBob, also on Nickelodeon, aired in 1999, and I had no idea. It's still going.
Oh, yes, it is.
This one has a boatload, though. There's over 15, so I'm only going to cover a couple of them. We only have so much time. Also, not surprised this one's on the list, because if you actually watch it back as an adult, if you think Rugrats is dark, this is one of the darkest shows and one that just straight up has jokes for parents only.
But here's the thing. I still fucking love it, and I can still sit down and I can just watch it and enjoy it.
It's probably one of my most quoted things.
I love it. And my husband had never watched it because he's older than all of us. And I made him watch it one day in a hotel a couple years ago, and he didn't get it, which is understandable.
Okay. So the first theory on this one's short, it's sweet, but Pearl is not Mr. Krabs' real daughter.
Oh, you think?
I don't know. I mean, he is a crab, she's a whale. But he's very, very selfish, right? He is greedy, except for when it comes to her. She gets everything she wants.
She does.
So one fan theory, conspiracy theory, states that this is because Mr. Krabs adopted her from her parents who died.
Okay.
From whalers being whale hunted. And he spoils her because they were his best friends.
I could see that. Okay.
Right? So that's one that I just hadn't heard of before. And also, how in the hundreds of episodes that I've watched, I've never thought about how the fuck a crab has a whale for a daughter.
You didn't?
I never did. I don't know why. It just really never.
Purple.
Never crossed my mind.
I love Mr. Krabs.
Our second theory is a split from this one, though.
Okay.
And I want you to remember back to our aphrodisiac episode. Do you remember the thing that came from whales?
Was it sperm?
No, it was puke.
What was?
Ambergris. Ambergris is an aphrodisiac. It's also used for perfumes and stuff.
Disturbing.
So, a different theory on why Mr. Krabs really likes his daughter.
I've heard this.
His success is from the Krabby Patty, and there's secret ingredients that Plankton is always trying to steal the recipe for. Well, that secret ingredient could be none other than ambergris or his own daughter's puke.
Yeah.
That one to me sounds more Mr. Krabs because he'd be in it for himself.
But wasn't it plankton?
What do you mean?
The secret ingredient is plankton.
Is it?
One of the episodes was. That's why, and he found out and he's horrified.
Oh, that would make sense.
But they alluded to it like it was, but then it's like, were they just joking to scare plankton away, or was it really plankton? So you kind of left like you don't know.
I guess we'll never know, though, because
but it could be whale puke.
One of the creators actually commented on this whole theory. Okay. Or not creators, animators, excuse me. And he said that the creator of the show was actually against revealing how Pearl joined Mr. Krabs' family. So I guess we'll never know. But there is apparently a legitimate reason. They just won't tell everybody. Okay.
So, okay. That's interesting.
The next one is kind of what you were explaining for the Rugrats one. So the next theory is that all the characters in SpongeBob's are actually representations, but instead of a mental disorder is what it would be like to be addicted to a different kind of drug.
Okay.
Because the show was made, shortly after the whole war on drugs media scare, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So each character suffers from a different addiction, and their actions in the shows are manifestations about how people with that addiction would act.
Okay, I can see that.
All right. So as I go through them, I want you to try to guess.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm going to give you character, and then I'm going to give you description.
Oh, no.
SpongeBob. Crazy mood swings. Lives in a bit of delusion. Tons of other strange afflictions, right? So he shifts from extreme happiness to anger. He has kind of grandiose ideas, a little bit of, living in his own world.
Okay.
But the swings are a big thing. What do you think SpongeBob would be the representation of?
Well, I don't know. I ultimately, right away, thought acid until you started describing stuff. I've never taken acid, so I don't know what the side effects are after. But I'm just thinking, because he's always seeing I just think of the, what are they? The jellyfish party.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of an acid trip.
You're pretty close. Shrooms and speed.
Okay, there you go. Shrooms. That makes sense too. Okay, perfect.
The next one, you're just getting a one-word hint. You're going to get this one immediately. Patrick.
I mean, I think Patrick's just fucking high all the time. Smoking some
lazy
marijuana.
Stoner who literally lives under a fucking rock.
I love him. Though
Squidward, you have 2 right answers here. So he has deceptive behaviors, poor work performance, avoiding eye contact, mood swings, and lethargy.
I mean, he could be an alcoholic, but are we specifically talking drugs?
Yes.
Oh,
alcohol is a drug, but it's not alcohol.
I know, but it's not. It can't be alcohol for him. Oh, wow. Why don't I know that? Why can't I think?
Downers and or heroin.
Oh. I would say downers, not heroin.
I saw way more people saying heroin. And by the way, a lot of these come from Ranker, top 10s.
No,
Reddit,
it wasn't. It's not heroin.
This is not as scientific.
But he's not strung out.
That's where it didn't make sense to me. I think more downers. He's taking Xannies.
Yeah. And he's also so particular on certain things. And he's so focused on certain things. It's not heroin.
Yeah, no, I think it's downers for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And Mr. Krabs is addicted to
money.
Money, absolutely, which means he is the
I don't know what.
Well, if he's the employer of the show and he has all the money, he would be
he's the drug dealer.
Absolutely, in cahoots with Mrs. Puff, and they're both obviously addicted to cocaine because of their irritability. Now, there is one who is not constantly high.
Sandy?
Who doesn't belong. Who lives her life in a bubble. And generally
Sandy Cheeks.
It's Sandy Cheeks, who is always annoyed by the others because they're just fucking high all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. She just I want to go home.
Yeah, she's sick of all their high asses, which makes the whole episode where SpongeBob and Patrick break in way more annoying when she's trying to hibernate. Now I'm Dirty Dan.
They are a bunch of fucked up little weirdos. I love it so much. Dude, I want to leave this episode and go watch SpongeBob.
I kind of do too. Stepping on the beach. Okay.
Oh my God.
So,
pizza.
I think this one is definitely fun. It explains some things. I don't think it's true, though, when you start to look into David Lynch, who created the show. David Lynch was actually super abstract, very into surreal. I mean, it's listed as a surreal cartoon. He's also, if you look at him, he has made some, I'm going to say adult films, but not porn. Yeah. I just mean films for adults. He's made some really strange things, but I don't think these characters are high because he is very, very astute on the fact that while he creates all these surrealist projects and very abstract, very strange, that he's actually never done a drug to induce any of his creativity.
Okay.
So I would doubt that somebody who's not dabbling, right, isn't going to put them in a kid's show. I would doubt they are. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Damn, now that we think that, SpongeBob definitely is my favorite. I don't even know why I said Rugrats. Rugrats was my first favorite, but damn, me and my dad used to watch hours of SpongeBob. We would laugh so fucking hard. I can't even.
I still have to think. My all-time favorite was Tom and Jerry.
Oh, really?
Oh, I was obsessed. I loved that show.
Wow.
Couple other like just 2-sentence SpongeBob ones though that I liked. Each character is also representative of the 7 deadly sins.
Oh, I've heard that too.
Right, greed, sloth, gluttony.
Yep.
We have
That
all
makes
those
sense.
things.
Pearl's gluttony, right?
Wrath. Yep, Pearl would be gluttony. Greed is Krabs.
Mr.
Sloth
Krabs.
is Patrick.
Patrick.
Wrath is Plankton, you know.
Yep. Okay, yeah. Oh, I like that one.
The last one that I really liked is you get all these sentient underwater creatures because Bikini Bottom is actually offshore of where they were doing the nuclear testing in those way out there islands. So, you know, kind of fun.
Yeah.
There's also, like you were saying, then the mental disorders in this one too. And a lot of those referred to the episode about not Bikini Bottom, Rock Bottom, which is one of like the most terrifying episodes of SpongeBob of all time. So one where they take the bus down to the place where everyone...
I was just going to say, is it that one? Because that one is not cool.
I guess that one is just supposed to help kids understand anxiety.
But it gives it to us.
I know. I don't think they did.
Even as an adult, that I don't know if I ever want to watch that episode. It's so vivid in my brain. I don't need to rewatch that.
I'm kind of right there with you. It's like the one that sticks with me the most, though.
Exactly. Ooh.
Any other comments on SpongeBob before our next cartoon?
No, I think there was a dirty one with it being Bikini Bottom, but I know there's a bajillion. So
yeah, what's the Krusty Krab is in the Bikini Bottom.
Oh yeah.
That's just a joke for adults.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so the next one we have our favorite group of crime fighting, paranormal investigating, sandwich eating, dog loving teens driving around the country in a van.
What?
Come on.
Oh, it's whatever, but I don't think I ever really watched it.
Scooby-Doo, man.
Oh, what did you just say?
Crime fighting, paranormal investigating, sandwich eating, dog loving teens who drive around in a van.
Why did I blank out on all of that?
I don't know.
Dog, and I just thought that coward dog.
Courage.
Okay, Scooby-Doo. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we could have done a whole episode on Courage, the cowardly dog.
Yeah. Okay, get your life together. Yeah. Okay.
So this is another absolute favorite of mine.
Oh, this one's dark, right? This is darker.
I don't think this one is as dark as it just explains why there's so many of the same thing happening.
Okay.
So Scooby-Doo was actually created in 1969, believe it or not, and is still going. They've had so many spin-offs, movies, everything. I know. I love them. In case you've somehow been like Patrick living under a rock, it's a series that follows 4 teenagers, Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, and Shaggy Rogers, and their talking Great Dane named Scooby-Doo who solve mysteries involving supposedly supernatural creatures through a series of antics and missteps while traveling using the brightly colored van, the Mystery Machine. Okay. So tons of theories on this one. I'm going to go with one that was new to me. It might not be new to you, but okay. So the gang, no matter where they are in the country, right? Yeah. They're always in rundown buildings, investigating the same kind of phenomena that always turns out to be a man in a suit pulling a con.
Or there are some with women, but yeah, it's usually like
a human. It's not supernatural. Yeah. The theory suggests that the world of Scooby-Doo actually takes place in America that is set after a complete economic collapse. Okay. This left many buildings, businesses, homes, hotels, theme parks, all those places they would have gone really run down like they are in the show. Okay. It would also explain why they live in a van, at least not down by a river, as Chris Farley would say. Kind of, just they don't have anything to call their own. Also, I mean, how is Shaggy so damn hungry, right? He's obviously just poor and not super stoned. Okay. So every villain in the show, while they're doing this con to pull off some kind of money, shouldn't be villains. Right. They're educated, intelligent, highly employable people, scientists, engineers, entrepreneurs. Like these people shouldn't need to run these cons to make the money. So they're desperately trying to get away with their grand plans because there's no jobs to be had. Everyone's laid off. Okay, that makes sense. Great Depression times 10. And that's why they're all resorting to these like schemes. Okay. So I like that one. I think that one was a little bit different. Yeah. Another 2-second story on this one is, every time they show the Mystery Machine peeling away, it's like burning out. Yeah. Well, that smoke is not from the tires. That smoke is from Shaggy and Scooby. The marijuana. Right. I found another one on Reddit though. And I kind of liked this one. So these 4 people, Velma, Nerdy Girl, Burnout Boy, and then you have like the jock couple.
Okay.
How the fuck do these people end up hanging out together in real life?
It's like the Breakfast Club.
Kind of. If the Breakfast Club couldn't stay in one place and seemingly had no direction because they're dodging the military draft.
Oh, God.
The mighty heptagon on Reddit suggests this. The original Scooby-Doo series came out during the height of the Vietnam War. This time, young people across the country were being drafted into combat. Scary for the average citizen. So the gang all had their separate motives. Shaggy was a hippie through and through. He probably didn't agree with the war. It's not too far off to think a pothead like Shaggy wouldn't live a nomadic lifestyle with his dog. Very Jack Kerouac inspired. Fred, obviously dodging the draft, clean-cut suburban kid, no reason to run away, unless his draft number came up. And Daphne, being the love of his life, followed him to start their new life together. Maybe they spot Shaggy hitchhiking, picked him up in the mystery machine, which obviously Fred owns. He is always driving it. Velma, she gets along with them because she's like that college student turned activist type who wildly opposes the war. And she gangs up with them either. Now, the other evidence he gave to this is, have you ever seen them call the police? They always sort it out themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they call the police, they're going to the fucking war.
But the police end up coming.
Do they?
Yeah. They get arrested like every episode.
Oh, shit. Well, Mr. Heptagon, you were wrong. Do the cops actually come? I just remember them always
they're always like pulling the mask. And some of them are getting put in the backseat of the car.
Okay, so they can't be draft dodgers unless they use aliases.
It's not, I don't know if it's every episode, but yeah, it's mostly episodes. No, the dark one that I knew or heard was, I think it's that everyone's dead. All Shaggy's friends died.
Oh.
Or yeah, you have to look into it. I think it's that they're all dead, or that Scooby's dead. That's why, or he, like, his dog died and he's going through depression. That's why he always talks to him, and no one, like, I don't know. I can't remember quite what it was, but it was a little bit dark.
That's the, like,
but I like your fun ones.
I love these too because it's all fan theory. It's all conspiracy theory. I mean, everyone's going to come up with the story of these shows that have been running forever and part of their childhood, and it's cartoons. So there's no right or wrong at the end of it.
Exactly. All right. What else you got? Okay.
So this one I hadn't heard before. But I think this is the one that could be the most true wool pulled over our eyes.
Okay.
I'm going to start it with a quote from Albert Einstein.
Okay.
I do not know what weapons the Third World War will be fought with, but the Fourth World War will be fought with sticks and stones.
Mm.
So that one basically says, right, because he was developing a lot of weaponry that was humanity ending. So I don't know what we're going to fight the next one with, but whatever World War III brings, it's going to set us back to the Stone Age. Okay, Stones is your hint.
The Flintstones?
The Flintstones.
Oh, I love the Flintstones.
Lovable Fred and Wilma living their best Stone Age life. The show ran from 1960 to 1966 only. Uh-huh. Which is weird because, like, I remember watching it as a kid and I would have thought, like, it wasn't that old.
Well, because you're a kid, you don't know. But yeah, it was such a good
think about
and I love the Flintstone movie. With Halle Berry with her short hair. Oh, my favorite. That's my favorite Halle.
We need to rewatch that one.
For sure.
Let's do it for your birthday.
Okay.
That's in the past for everyone listening. But okay, so what if I told you the show doesn't what if I told you the show doesn't happen in the past?
Oh, it's the future?
It's the future.
Okay.
Instead of it being these highly evolved cave people, it's really far in the future folks living in a dystopian future after the fall of modern civilization.
Okay. I've kind of heard of spin-off of that. They just didn't want to move to the future type of deal. So they're in their own world. So kind of same-ish.
There's people who have given some pretty good proof to this one.
Okay.
I think. Literally the theme song. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family.
Yes. Okay.
From the town in Bedrock, they're a page right out of history. Okay.
Okay.
That's loose at best, but if we look at what was going on pop culture-wise around when the show came out, a lot of horror movies at this time were focused around the awakening or recreating of monsters, dinosaurs, things from the past, which would explain why they have both dinosaurs and saber-toothed tigers and all these other critters that would not have lived together in the Stone Age.
Oh, yeah.
Humans, dinosaurs, saber-toothed tigers, these are all from vastly different times.
I guess I've never thought. I mean,
the animals can talk. So these have to be genetically modified things that have come back after the fall of humanity or were created because some say that this takes place in the same universe as
yeah, you're right. Some of them do talk.
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So more proof, they're fully evolved humans. They don't have the Neanderthal foreheads. They don't have the skeletal structures of ancient people. They have the skeletal structures of modern day people.
Yep. Okay.
Do you remember the Great Gazoo, the alien?
Yes, I love him.
Why is he banished to Earth?
Oh yeah, they don't ever tell you, do they?
They do.
Do they?
He's literally banished to Earth because he created a doomsday device on his planet.
Oh, that's right.
So what better punishment for somebody than to be banished to a world that has already doomsdayed itself?
That makes sense.
I'm telling you, this one was compelling to me more than most.
Yeah, I like it.
Because this one actually has some evidence.
Okay.
Then we have a Flintstones and the Jetsons together in a crossover
The crossover episode. I loved that episode.
Okay. So there's a tiny detail in this episode, though.
Okay.
Jetsons, obviously in the future. Now, there's 2 actual theories on this one that are the exact same story, but bear with me a minute. So the Jetsons never go to Earth. They are always in the atmosphere.
Right.
The flying cars, the flying cities, the AI, the robots, right? All the futuristic work. In this episode, Elroy the son gets a time machine and he tries to go back to the 25th century, which would still be our future.
Yeah.
We're in the 21st, right?
Yep.
But they're so far in the future. However, they end up back in the Flintstones times. Now, you could say this is because they just went too far back in time.
Okay.
But if you spend countless hours doing the research like I did, and by that I mean finding a 30-second clip, you can clearly see on the time machine, as somebody pointed out, that the switch is still on future instead of the past. And they tried to say in the episode that it was a glitch that they ended up back there, but they were still trying to go back. Now, I like what Organic Macaroon 178 said on Reddit, is that the Jetsons may not have traveled in time at all. That they and the Flintstones are existing at the same time. So for this to make sense, you have to remember the Jetsons never touch the Earth's surface.
Right.
He goes on to say he's the one who puts Jurassic Park, the Flintstones, and the Jetsons all in one. So somehow the humanity has brought back dinosaurs. Then you almost bring in Matrix, right? The Matrix starts to happen. Robots take over somewhat around the time as humans then leave to go to the atmosphere.
Okay.
If you remember in the Matrix, it's like scorched Earth, right?
Yeah.
And all the humans are kind of batteries, blah, 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 blah. Every time the Jetsons show the planet Earth, it looks like this scorched Earth. Basically, when the Flintstones are, I keep wanting to say the Jetsons, the Flintstones are rebuilding. It's after the end of the Matrix when everyone escapes and they're rebuilding the world.
Okay.
So that when Elroy took his time machine, all he really did was float down to the planet's surface and they are coexisting at the exact same time.
That makes sense. Okay.
I mean,
I dig it.
I like it, because like, how else would you explain all the modern day technology they had, just a Stone Age version of it?
I dig it.
The phones, the cars, everything else. I don't know. I think that one has some weight to it.
Well, I mean, the cars weren't like that modern.
Perfect. So none of it was, but it was modern technology.
Well, yeah.
Right. That wouldn't have been. So somebody explained it. The fall of humanity came from being too over technology. Too much tech.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. That's a good one.
They kept their modern conveniences, but they never took it back to the level they did before. So they would never wipe out humanity again.
I like it.
I don't know. I dig it.
No, that's a cool one.
And I think that one at least has solid proof.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else you got?
I know it's getting long. We have one last show that obviously, if we are going to talk about a cartoon with a conspiracy theory, fuck the fan theories on this one. This is straight up level of conspiracy theory that just doesn't make sense to me. Probably could do an entire episode on this alone.
Okay.
And the conspiracy is less about the show than the show's creator.
Okay.
Matt Groening and his famous TV show, The Simpsons.
Okay.
You know where we're going?
I mean, I do, but I never watched The Simpsons. It was not a show that I cared about, but I do know where we're going with it.
So I feel like at least once a year this starts popping off on social media because it comes true again.
Yes.
But the conspiracy theory is that The Simpsons and its creators somehow have the uncanny ability to predict with like way too much fucking accuracy future real-world events.
Like weird, creepy.
I've seen a lot of theories on this. One, Matt Groening is like an insanely smart human being. He's like a physicist, mathematician. I mean, he also made the show Futurama, and most of the science jokes in Futurama are actually based in actual science.
Does he ever comment on any of this shit? Does he?
Oh, yeah, he does.
It? Okay.
Yeah. And he's also smart and witty and just a genius. So he never like confirms or denies. He's just an asshole about it, which I would be not an asshole, but just sarcastic asshole, you know? So statisticians are like, well, with the amount of, you know, episodes of South Park, it all comes down to math. You're going to end up predicting something.
No.
But there are others that are so spot on that people have actually kind of not blamed. They have suggested that Matt Groening might be a time traveler.
Yeah. Or is he
Look at Futurama. That show is literally about accidental time travel.
Yeah. Huh.
So there's an entire Wikipedia page that is just dedicated to the Simpsons episodes. Predictions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I kind of want to finish this up by going over my top favorites from these. And then I want you to like tell me your reactions to them.
Okay.
So the first one is from an episode, Lisa the Greek. It aired January 23rd, 1992.
Okay.
Lisa correctly predicts that the Washington Redskins would win Super Bowl 26, which they did on January 26th that same year.
Okay.
Or of the year that Super Bowl was.
Okay. So
tons of time pass in between.
Yeah, that could literally, you could just be like, wow, that's a wild ass coincidence. That is something that you could be like, that's crazy coincidence.
It would be more coincidental, but they numbered the exact Super Bowl.
But you could still say, holy shit, that's a crazy coincidence.
Perfect. If it happened once,
I think it's not, but that's could be a crazy coincidence.
Next one comes from Springfield, which is the name of the town they live in, but it has a $ instead of an S, or it's also called How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling.
Okay.
But this episode in 1993, December 16th, features characters Gunther and Ernst, who are a parody of the real-life magicians Siegfried and Roy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. In this episode, Gunther and Ernst acts end disastrously when their white tiger, Anastasia, attacks them. In real life, obviously, Roy was attacked by their white tiger named Manicore during a live performance at the Mirage in 2003, 10 years later. This one, I would say, coincidence is not even coincidence. It's like kind of
the probability of that happening could really be. Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
You have a wild animal, but okay.
Okay. So a similar thing of them predicting a performance.
Okay.
This one is just where I'm starting to go, how the fuck do you, in your head, you put these two things together? And then how does it actually happen?
Okay, give it to me.
Homer Palooza, May 19th, 1996, features Cypress Hill guest starring as themselves, the band.
Okay. As
they performed with, for some reason, the London Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
Which happened when Cypress Hill and the London Symphony Orchestra performed together at the Royal Albert Hall, July 10th, 2024. Almost 30 years later from that episode.
Okay. So here's where, though, I could be like, they literally could have gotten this, be like, this would be really funny because it did happen on the episode of Simpsons 30 years ago. We should collaborate this.
Do you think anybody would? I don't know. That one to me just kind of struck me as...
It's very weird, but I feel like that could be collaborated because, come on now. You don't think there's somebody on one of those teams that was like a huge Simpsons fan? It would be like, this would be so fucking cool.
Okay.
Make some calls. I'm just saying.
I'll give you that.
It's very weird. All of them. Very weird.
So When You Dish Upon a Star aired November 8th, 1998.
Okay.
And for a short time in this episode, there's a shot of the 20th Century Fox logo, and underneath it, it says a division of the Walt Disney Company, which predicted the acquisition of 21st Century Fox by Disney December 14th, 2017, 19 years later.
I don't know. What do you think?
Again, if it was 1 or 2, I'm going to give you 7. And we're not even scratching the surface.
Yeah, keep going. Because these are just ones that I could be like, okay, it could, yeah, okay.
Elementary School Musical, dated September 26, 2010. Milhouse predicts a betting pool that Bengt Holmstrom would win the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences.
Okay.
On that same betting pool, a database predicted that Ben Ferenga would win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry.
Okay.
Okay. This was 2010.
Okay.
In 2016, Holmstrom and Ferenga received their respective awards in those exact categories.
See, that's where I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. Because it's two people in one episode that you're betting different things. That's weird. That's crazy.
And there's quite a few of those that I left out.
Right. Well, I know there's a lot.
I tried to go for some different ones, but that's
one
where the Super Bowl one to me are very compelling.
It is very compelling.
You're predicting down to the exact category or the exact date. Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, for real. Okay. It is weird.
So Lisa Goes Gaga came out May 20th, 2012, which had Lady Gaga performing a halftime show at a Super Bowl.
Okay.
5 years later, just as depicted, Lady Gaga used suspension cables to give the appearance she were flying, just like she did in the episode. The outfit she wore was very similar. I know your feeling on this one already.
Yeah, because I just feel like at this point...
So you think that the Super Bowl and Lady Gaga got together to recreate a Simpsons
What
episode?
I think that is, there's so much talk about, and you're just not even scratching the surface. There's so many different ones. So there's like you just said earlier, there is so much every year you get this, like, oh my God, the Simpsons predicted. So there's all of this animosity, maybe that's not the right word, but all of this hoopla about the Simpsons predicting the future. So if I were a creator like Lady Gaga, and I know I was in an episode of it, yes, I'm going to strategically, secretly with my team plan. Oh my God, fuck it. I scored the Super Bowl. Let me fuck around a little bit.
Even
That's
if
what I think.
They were the same Super Bowl numbers?
That part's weird. That part's very weird.
It's weird. And so that's where, like, statistically, they say with the number of episodes, they're going to predict something.
No,
a lot of people think it's confirmation bias.
Yeah, I don't think that. But I think with some of those, it could be like, yeah, but the Super Bowl number, that's fucking weird. But if it were a coincidence, I could see like Gaga's team or something being like, hey, we should do this. You know what I mean? Okay.
All right. The last one, the one that everyone's probably waiting for, March 19th, 2000, Bart to the Future predicts the presidency of Donald Trump.
See, that's the ones that fuck with me, because why the fuck would he ever be a president?
Even down to that light orb thing that there's that real picture of him touching and he did in that episode.
These are the type of ones that fuck with me, because that doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense because nobody would have thought he ran.
Right.
Now, this episode hits twice because it hits for him running the first time.
Yeah.
But this is also the episode where Lisa runs against him wearing that purple suit, the purple pantsuit, which is like basically what, Kamala's signature outfit, who ran against him the second time around. So this episode
that's fucking weird.
Somehow hit on both presidencies.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
So I agree with you. I do think over time, especially as
some of them,
the theory grew.
Yeah.
Right? Like, sure, I could see Lady Gaga going, okay, I'm going to feed into this. She does like the pomp and circumstance. But I think someone like the early...
No, it's weird.
It's
fucking weird.
Ones that happened in the early 2000s. And the fact that, like,
the 90s.
We went through 7, but there's hundreds of them.
It's fucking weird.
So there's... I don't know. I'm sure somebody, Matthew, can explain it away. But to me... Like, some of them are confirmation bias.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said, he doesn't explain it away.
Right.
Which is like...
I don't know.
He knows something.
Either he's a time traveler and more likely, he probably has some sort of extrasensory ability.
I would go with that one. He has more of a grasp on.
Maybe like, I
don't want to say visions,
clear vision.
But,
what's the clear?
Not clairvoyant. Clairsentient. What are they? Clairvoyant, clairsentient.
I can't remember what it is. But I don't know. There's something to it, though. It's just very strange.
All right. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just some of those I could see with time, the buildup, let's fuck with people. But if you deep dive into all of them, there's no.
There's
going
just
on.
too many. It's so
Something
weird.
be going on. Well, good episode. I loved this one.
Thank you.
And I don't think you made too many people mad.
No, I tried to. We started dark, but I tried to make it lighter as we went. A couple of other ones I liked is that Doug from Doug is completely addicted to hallucinogens.
Oh, yeah.
That's why everyone's weird colors and he thinks beats play music.
That one totally tracks.
Oh yeah, no, and there's like literally for every cartoon, there's at least 4 or 5 of them. Like we could have gone on for days and days and days on this one. It was hard to actually narrow it down. I had to take a lot off my list, but yeah, that's what I got for you on the cartoon conspiracies. So Reddit, Ranker, all those kind of like websites have so many of them. If you want to go you can even add your own. Let us know your own.
Yeah, you could let us. What should they leave us as an emoji for this one?
Jellyfish. Is there a jellyfish?
Probably. Leave a sea creature. I don't think. Oh, yeah. There is a sponge. I was going to say a sponge. There's a soap thing. If not, leave a soap. I'll know.
Fair.
I know what you mean.
Something along the lines of cartoons, but that's all I got for you.
You know, we should have did Rocco's Modern Life. Damn. Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, those were all. I tried to stay away from too many dark ones, and Rocco's was
dark.
Bad.
I know. Okay. Sorry.
Anyways, though, so with that being said, too, we are back into it, writing our episodes. We've got some inspiration. I've actually got a list of ideas again, but
we want yours.
We're always happy to have you guys write in, call in. We are making some big plans of stuff, and I will tell you this much, that when we do announce it, it will be announced first on Patreon. So if you are inclined, you can still join there. And what else, Kara? Let's close.
That's about it. We're here for a long time. We're tired. You're tired of hearing us. We love you. We appreciate everything that you do for us. So we're going to keep doing things for you. And hopefully in 2025, we're going to do a lot more for you. That's our hope. Fingers crossed. Anyway, but the most important thing that you can do for us is to creep a real balls.
Goodbye.
Bye.